So, if you have been trying to figure out why people are watching your stories, engaging with your content, signing up for your email list, doing your webinars, your master classes, and still not moving into your high ticket offers, you are in the right place because not only are we going to talk about why that's happening, you're going to find out exactly how to fix it. Hi, my name is Chloe Bond, and I'm a business growth strategist for coaches, consultants, and paid experts who want to get high ticket clients paying consistently again. Why? Because you're not new to this, you're true to this. So, if you are experiencing yourself showing up consistently, doing all the right things, talking about your offers, sending out the emails, getting the visibility up there, and you're getting the engagement, but you're not getting the conversions, the first thing I need you to understand is that you have a positioning issue. And you might be having a little pushback with me making that statement, and I get it, because you could be saying, well, how, when I'm being consistent, I'm not switching up my offer every 30 days, I'm doing the sales activity every day. It is your positioning, and here is why. Premium buyers, and when I use the word premium, I'm not talking about people that just have money. I'm talking about people with money that are actively in motion looking for a solution to a problem that you're saying that you solve. So these people have paying power, meaning the money's in hand and they're looking at who they want to give it to. Those are the premium buyers that I'm talking about. So when we have premium buyers, one thing about them is that if they are experiencing any ambiguity, any lack of clarity, any confusion around exactly how to move forward with you, exactly what you do, how you serve, they're not moving forward. And I get that right now your brain is confused because you're saying, again, that's not possible because I'm talking about my frameworks and my processes. I talk about, myself, and I share my client wins. How can they be confused? We are in a different time to live. It's a different era. So the surface level things that used to be enough to get people in talking about, the Voxer support and the 8 weeks of one-on-ones, and here's how much money my client made. This is how many pounds my client lost. That's not sufficient enough. It's not detailed enough because now people are filtering through, and this is a wise thing. It's a good thing. People are now filtering through the surface level and they want you to take them deeper, not so deep to where they get lost, but deep enough that they can see their self in exactly what you're talking about. The issue that I see with a lot of clients I've worked with in the past is that yes, they're sharing their offer and yes, they're sharing their expertise and their frameworks, but it's not positioned in a way now when your ideal prospect or potential client that you would want to sign up with you, when they're reading it, they can't visualize themselves in that process. They're not there. All that's there is your brain. All that's there is your experience, and all that's there is what you feel like they want to hear. One trick that I learned from a copywriter when I first started out in this space that always helps me stay grounded, and I want to share it with you because it's going to take you to the next level, is that when you are creating any piece of content, whether it's a webinar, I don't care what the format is, the first thing you always want to do is get someone in mind. And this is easy for you because you've worked with clients before. So if you're still looking to pursue the same type of clientele and you know the one that, or even let's say you want to go to the next level, think of who that person is, whether it's a literal person you have in mind. Maybe you did a sales call with someone or had a conversation, or there's someone you got your eyes on. Write to them. Literally, there's been situations where I'll put somebody's name at the top and then do my content and then just delete the name at the top. The reason why is because mentally, when you're talking, you want to make sure you're speaking to them. You want them to feel like they're stopping and it feels like a letter. This is why with AI, I love it for content, but why it gets dangerous, because even when I've used it in the past to help me like put together ideas, and why I quit, I'm be honest with you, when I was using AI for content, I would tell it like, I need this to sound like a conversation. I don't need this to sound markety. This is not an ad. I need it to sound like a conversation because it helps me stand out. It's natural, it's flowing, it grabs attention. And so when I switched over to writing my content myself, which is, again, this is no slight if you use AI because everyone's not a strong content writer, but for myself, I saw my engagement go up and people starting to respond again because of the way that I show up. So I'm going to say to you before I move to the next point that if you're currently only talking about the frameworks, the offers, and you're doing storytelling, but it's not in a sense that when people are reading it, it creates a connection, especially if you can emotionally connect. Emotions get people to move rapidly. I don't care what the setting is, business, love life, whatever. If people are coming across your things and coming in and it feels like you're just teaching them, you're just educating them, but you're not connecting with them, again, they can't see their self in the things that you're discussing, your positioning is way off base at this point. And that leads me to point number 2, which is that interest does not mean they're ready to make a move. A lot of times we're still stuck in way back when coaching was in the big boom during the 2020 era of like all it takes is if they like something or comment on something. It's not like that anymore. People, if your positioning is already off base and you're educating more than you're connecting, then that's all that they see. You're a resource. You're like going to Wikipedia and needing an answer. You haven't positioned yourself as a go-to to actually solve it. You're just a good source of information, even to the point that they're probably gathering information to filter out the expert that's showing up, that's telling them, I see you. Now, this doesn't mean you have to try to razzle dazzle them into your offers, or you need to try to finesse them or be a used car salesman. But again, just because they're showing they're interested doesn't mean they're ready to move, and you're experiencing that already. So what has to happen to move their interest is signal them. They want to be seen. They want to know that you're here specifically for them. And that moves me to point number 3. Don't be afraid to be specific. You might say, well, I'm not because I say I only work with SMBs, or I'm not because I only work with coaches, or I'm not because I only work with, like single dads. That's not specific. Get down and dirty with it. Again, people, premium buyers, they're looking for someone who gets them, not working with everyone. So if you're saying, I work with single fathers on weight loss, okay, how, what does that single father look like? Talk about their lifestyle. And here's something I do all the time, and I'll encourage you to do it. Put out every now and then, put out some content on who you don't work with. Do it. There's this fear of being too specific, this fear of saying I don't work with these type of people when money's not rolling in, and I get it, but you have to release it. Because people who are in motion to buy from you and they're ready to pay you now, if they see you, I always say, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And that can even come down when you feel like you've already niched down and you've already been very specific on who you serve. It's not specific enough, because I'm telling you right now that it's not. Talk about their lifestyle. Talk about how they're feeling. Talk about what they're looking to do. Talk about what position they're in. If you're in the business space, don't be afraid to say you only work with 7-figure, entrepreneurs. Because here's the thing that my clients have always learned working with me. You're going to get an outlier. Now, like when I started out and I worked predominantly with women and most of my content was towards women, guess what? Men still contacted me and said, hey, I see you only really talk about women and you've only worked with women, but would you take a male client? Those things happen. You don't have to worry about, well, what if, I want to work with 7-figure business owners, but I would work with a 6-figure. You don't have to talk about it. Someone who makes 6 figures will come to you and say, hey, I make $500,000. I know you work with 7-figure, but is there a chance that you would still take someone on like me? If the interest is there and the desire is there, that's not going to stop them. But it doesn't make sense. And this is why you're slowed up, because you're saying, I want this type of client, but you don't speak to that client. You say that you want to go to the next level of premium buyer, but you won't talk to them directly because you're so afraid you're going to miss out opportunity. It's not a thing. I just did a consultation the other day and she was telling me her goals and the type of people she wants to work with. And I told her, the type of services she wants to offer. And I said, hey, if you want to service businesses, then why are you going to talk to, instead of if you want to be B2B, why are you doing B2C? I told her, like, and with the offer she had, I'm like, naturally, you can still do B2C because they're going to need that service as well. But I told her, think long term. Think long term. If you're saying, I want people that are going to pay me now, I'm not doing the entry level stuff. I'm not doing with beginners. I want to deal with corporate clients. I want to deal with C-suite. I want to deal with professionals. I want to deal with the next level of income. I want to deal with people who can pay me 10K retainers. You have to start here. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to go for it. Drop all that nonsense. Be specific as heck on who this is for. And if you're dealing with beginners, fine. But let them know, I work best with beginners. I'll tell people I work best. The people that I work with have already had at least 5 clients under their belt, have gotten revenue, but now it's spotty, they want to tighten it up. Because I'm not afraid, because have I had clients that were brand new beginners? Yes. But the reason why you need to do this, it protects you and it protects them. One, they want to, again, find someone that specifically understands where they are. Premium buyers are up here. They're not babies. They're very self-aware people. So they want to know that if you're really an expert, you can see them and understand them at a high level. Somebody who's talking to, well, you do content for beginner stages and intermediate stages and higher up stages, you're all over the place. They can't see themselves. So when they're coming across, and let's think about algorithm now. So when you know that the algorithm is not showing everybody your content every single time, what if you're posting about someone that's you're not even in alignment with? You really don't want to work with the beginner stage people for real. But then your premium buyer comes online and that's the content they run into. But then you're talking to your premium buyer the next day, but they don't see it on their algorithm the next day. You just caused the problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what you want to do is you want to ensure that every time you show up, every time you talk, you are being decisive and selective. You're letting them know, because of the level of expertise, because of what I offer, because I know how I serve at the highest level, this is the type of person I serve best. And this is how I do it. And this is how this person would engage in me. This is set up the expectation. But if you're saying like, oh, I'll work with anybody, that doesn't feel premium. That isn't, why would I do that? That doesn't feel exclusive. So why am I going to pay you exclusive money and you just all over the place? No, thank you. That doesn't feel very good. So tighten up your positioning. Make sure that you're showing up selective and decisive. Let people know who you're for and who you're not for. Ensure that you do that on a regular basis. And be clear. You're not here to teach and educate. You're here to move people into the next step. So wherever the gray areas are in your business, start making it black and white. I hope that's helpful to you. Drop any questions or comments below. Let me know if it did. I'd love to get some feedback. If you have questions about sales, marketing, positioning, and getting high ticket clients into your containers, drop them below and I'll do a video on it for you to answer it. You're welcome. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to the channel and I will see you again.